Breaking news first at 4. Only Local 4 cameras are there as police execute a search warrant connected to a serial killer investigation. We're live with an update. Also breaking, a local college that's been around for nearly 100 years is planning to close its doors. We'll tell you why and when it will happen. Ben.
Karen, it is just clouds right now, but we've got the potential of heavy rain, strong winds, and lakeshore flooding all in the next 36 hours. Paula?
I want you to take a look at this construction because it really is the start of something great, particularly for the folks in that neighborhood who are now going to be connected 3 blocks away to the river.
Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. We start with breaking news in the ongoing serial killer investigation in the city of Detroit. Police have linked the deaths of 3 women, and they do have a person of interest in custody. And Sean Lay is joining us now with the very latest. I understand, Sean, you found out about a search. So what's this all about?
Actually, Detroit Police homicide investigators, Karen, good afternoon, serving a search warrant. Wrapping up just moments ago, not far from where we're standing over here on the east side. The target of that search warrant, D'Angelo Martin. He's the suspected serial killer. It's the home of his grandparents, and investigators went rolling in, and they spent hours late today inside that home looking for some key evidence. Here's what we know. Only Local 4 cameras are there as Detroit Police homicide investigators serve a search warrant on this home on Barlow at Lappin. That's on the city's east side. This is the home where police and prosecutors say suspected serial killer D'Angelo Martin attacked a woman who was sleeping inside just before 2 o'clock the morning of May 7th. We've learned the woman who was attacked is from Port Huron. Her family telling us that she was asleep when they say Martin came in demanding to have sex with her. She refused, and Martin is accused of stabbing the woman in her throat. She fought back, fighting for her life, and Martin ran off. Weeks later, Martin has now been charged with assault with intent to murder in this case. The woman, she's still recovering from her wounds. Back here live, the mother of that young victim from Port Huron says her daughter suffered a stab wound to her throat. She cannot speak as she's recovering. Live at 5 o'clock, we speak to the mother about what she thinks of her daughter coming face to face with this suspected serial killer. Now, we're still gathering information about what police were doing at the home. We know they were looking for items related to that awful sexual assault, but there's also a big DNA component about what they were looking for in regards to the entire serial killer case. More live at 5 o'clock. We're live on the east side. Sean Lay, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Sean. And we're tracking breaking news from Detroit's Marygrove College at this hour, where we have learned that the school has just announced the school will close its doors later this year. The Catholic Graduate College says it has too much debt and not enough students to stay open. In 2017, Marygrove announced it was cutting its undergrad programs because of decreasing enrollment and financial problems. Marygrove has been around for 92 years. The school will close after the fall 2019 semester, and we're gathering a reaction. We'll have that for you at 5. Also, first at 4, guilty verdicts for this man. He is William Strample, the former MSU Dean of Osteopathic Medicine at Michigan State University. Now, he was Dr. Larry Nassar's boss at MSU. Strample is the first former university official to be convicted of mishandling allegations of abuse against Nassar. Our Kimberly Gill, live in the newsroom with the very latest. And Kim, this is a big milestone.
Karen, good afternoon to you. All through the Nassar case, there have been questions about how the abuse could go on for so long. Well, now someone other than Nassar is being held accountable, all leading up to this moment.
As to count 1, misconduct of a public official, what is the verdict of the jury?
Guilty.
And as to count 3, willful neglect of duty, what is the verdict of the jury?
Guilty.
As to count 4, willful neglect of duty, what is the verdict of the jury?
Guilty.
Well, the jury also found Strample not guilty of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, the only charge not directly related to the Nassar scandal. This afternoon, we're also hearing reactions to the verdict. Attorney General Dana Nessel released a statement today saying, in part, quote, today's verdict sends a clear message. Public officers who brandish their power to demean, insult, harass, objectify, and abuse female students will be held accountable. Strample will be back in court for sentencing. That's on July 31st. Depending on whether the judge gives him consecutive sentences, he could spend up to 2 years in prison. Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Kim. The city of Flint is revved up today as General Motors announces a major investment. The company has announced a $150 million investment in the Flint assembly plant. General Motors will also be creating 1,000 new jobs at the plant to make the next generation of GM heavy-duty pickup trucks. Flint Mayor Karen Weaver also spoke this morning praising GM for their part in Flint's comeback.
Can I say BFD, a big freaking deal? What a big freaking deal this is for the city of Flint. What does recovery look like? They said jobs, and you are helping make that happen. For you to add $150 million, that's a lot of money, and this is huge, and it shows your commitment to Flint, and it lets people know we are coming back. We're coming back strong.
Over the last 6 years, GM has invested a total of $1.6 billion in the city of Flint. It's been another beautiful day out there, but our luck may be taking a turn. Let's get to Ben Bailey for the very first forecast. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, unfortunately, this is going to be in just a few hours. You see all that rain out there to the west, and that's going to start moving in to our area once the sun goes down tonight. By 10 p.m., we'll start seeing some scattered showers develop in the south zone, and those start expanding pretty quickly. This is midnight, and you can already start to see those downpours. We're going to see even wider spread rain overnight and even some heavy stuff at times. So the bottom line is this: from 10 p.m. tonight through 9 p.m. on Thursday, we're expecting thunderstorms with heavy rain, nothing severe, but it is going to be hard enough that we could be seeing some flooding and strong winds after the rain moves through. In fact, most of those strong winds are coming after 9 p.m. on Thursday. The M59 corridor is going to be the hardest hit. We'll look at the rainfall totals we're expecting, all coming up in a few minutes. Karen?
Thank you, Ben. These renderings highlight some of the big plans the city of Detroit is going to be giving residents a new greenway, linking them to the city's sparkling riverfront. Today, construction is underway to make this vision a reality. Our Paula Tubman takes us there for a look at what residents will see when it's finished.
So imagine living in this neighborhood and having to wait for this truck to go by, and then this car, and then crossing the street, and then realizing that right here there is a barrier, and you can't even get 3 blocks to one of this area's greatest gems and resources. Rodney Jacobs doesn't have to imagine it. He has lived 3 blocks from the waterfront, prime real estate for the better part of 20 years, and yet it takes him 10 minutes by car to see the beautiful blue of the Detroit River.
Yeah, I think it was unfair.
Yeah? Explain.
I just, we've been down here all this time.
Which is why he is thrilled to see the street all torn up. It's called the Joseph Campo Greenway at Jefferson and Joseph Campo.
This is the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time. This is literally changing the world for the city of Detroit.
The $4.9 million, 1.2-mile greenway will eventually run from Verner to the Riverwalk.
This neighborhood in particular has been so close to the river, about 3 blocks away, but they've always been blocked off because of this location right here. So the transformation of this path, turning this into the Joseph Campo Greenway and connecting into that amazing path that goes all the way through the Ralph Bunche homes, all the way up to Verner, is just a transformational thing. This will be a beautiful pathway. It'll have a series of different types of pavings. It'll have benches, places for people to sit. It'll have some landscaping as well, so it'll feel like a beautiful spot.
So by the end of the year, this will be transformed from an old parking lot into an urban plaza with trees, benches, and stormwater management. And then by the end of 3 years, the whole stretch will be done all the way up to Verner.
Call boxes and cameras that you see on the waterfront, and if you hit one of those call boxes, you'll be able to talk to one of our officers on the riverfront. We'll have bike patrols coming up through here.
Have you ever heard that old Joni Mitchell tune, Big Yellow Taxi, where she sings, "They paved paradise and put up a parking lot"? Neighbors who have stuck this city out before it was popular to do so are so glad that the city is singing a new tune.
We're turning a parking lot back into paradise. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful.
And it's a good idea that is, all the development is going on around here. And I think it's a good idea that everybody should be able to access the waterfront.
Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Well, the project is similar to the DeQuinder Cut, which really gave people walking, sitting, and cycling access to Detroit's biggest natural resource, the Detroit River. Still ahead, first at 4. Did you ever tell your child not to be a tattletale? Well, it does happen sometimes. We're going to take a look at why tattling is a normal and necessary part of child development. Also, it was a promotion that ended up being unbearable. Now, the store will try again with a new plan to avoid chaos at the shopping mall. Up first, don't try this at home. We have the story of a California man who launched his own plan to catch a predator.
I was just looking to get someone. He just happened to be a cop.
Oh, that's right, a cop facing charges. We'll tell you how a Snapchat filter led to his arrest.